Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and I desperately need a haircut. On this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. We have a question here from YouTube user Miko. It's your world. And Miko, let me tell you, clicked on your little your portrait there. You look like a very pleasant fella. Like, I assume when people meet you, they're like, I like that guy. That's just the vibe I get. Just what I'm saying. Anyways, Miko asks us, I hope this message finds you. It did. I filed in November of 2023. I signed up for mediation, but then I noticed it went into investigation. It is now 2025. I'm not feeling hopeful. Nobody had contacted me. Being this long, could this be good or bad? Last I talked to them, they stated they were backed up, but that was like June of 2024. Okay. I'm going to make a couple of assumptions off the bat. I'm going to assume you're talking about the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, because that's often what we deal with on this channel. If you consented to mediation at the EEOC level, and then the case went into investigation, very, very likely the employer did not consent to mediation. Not a big deal. No need to be concerned. That's just why I didn't get mediation. I've got a big cough drop in my mouth. So, in the EEOC, mediation is purely voluntary. Both sides have to consent and choose to be part of that process. This is different than mediation in the federal court system, which is often mandatory at the outset of a case. Not all mediations in the federal court system are mandatory. Many are supplementary and voluntary. Many of the federal court districts will have the mandatory mediation in employment cases early on in a case. But again, that's different than what goes on in the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Now, your case has been taking a long time. You filed in November of 2023. It's now 2025. If you're unrepresented, it's relatively common. The EEOC is wildly understaffed and underfunded. Here's the thing. They're just eventually going to get you a right to sue letter. So it might be a good idea to decide if you want to go into federal court. And if you do, potentially talk to some attorneys who might represent you. Local attorneys would be a good option. I'm not saying call me. I'm not saying don't call me. But what I'm saying is your local attorneys, where you should go first, they're generally going to be cheaper than national firms, and they might be really good. Depends on where you are in the country, right? Now, what else can I tell you here? Your right to sue letter gives you 90 days to get filed in federal court. When the EEOC finally wraps up your investigation, they're going to grant you a right to sue letter. Almost always. I think the numbers reflect that in 2023, the EEOC had 80,000 cases filed, roughly. And I think of those 80,000 cases, selected exactly 56 to file litigations in. They're not filing a lot of litigations for people. They're just not. It is what it is. That number could be even lower this year because, listen, right now the federal government never doing that well. It's doing especially poorly now, right? So, odds are, consider hiring a local counsel to represent you in federal court. Good news is, the federal court system, probably safe. I wouldn't expect it to lose too much funding. I think it's going to be just fine. One other thing you could think about doing is extending a monetary demand, a settlement demand, while your case is still in the EEOC. You can contact your investigator. You can use our damages calculation playlist and tell that investigator, hey, I want this much for my case. I would settle for this much. Doesn't mean they're going to give it to you. It doesn't mean it's going to start a settlement discussion, but it could. It's not a bad use of your time. It might make sense. Also, we'll let them know, hey, I'm still here. So a lot of people who file with the EEOC never follow through. Letting the employer know you are following through might put some fear back in them. So, might be worth your time. But primarily, my first recommendation is start talking to employment attorneys, get your filings together, get your original charge of discrimination, get their position statement if there is one, and get your rebuttal. Start sharing it, start pitching. Check out our How to Find an Employment Attorney playlist. It helps you craft your pitch to get representation. Great place to start. And I wish you a great deal of success in this. I hope you get paid. I hope they pay you for some of what was done to you. I don't know what was done to you, but it's never good when you're fighting with the EEOC or hanging out on an employment lawyer's channel on YouTube. It's always a sign that something went horribly wrong. I'm sorry. If this video is helpful, like, subscribe, comment down below. Share our channel so it may grow. Take care, everybody.